This clip is from the end of the last episode, when the battery train was making the first loop around the layout. The next obvious step was to electrify the track. I have one Märklin analog AC local and several digital ones. I choose analog because it was a good, durable test engine and I only need a single transformer controller to get it going. Also, I was afraid that my son gets carried away seeing the railway for the first time and my nice stop will suffer. So let's do some wiring. Another hour has passed. And I thought, why not patch my points? So I had some spare 1.5 mil cable, just a single core copper cable. I soldered it onto the side of the rails, and basically I jumped over the points. So at least on the main line I have continuous power. It's all nicely connected. Quite happy with the solder joints. I'm using some really nice soldering fluid. It makes the job really easy. This is my 150 watt DIY soldering iron. It's really powerful. I managed to touch the hot end yesterday, so that's why I'm wearing bandages. So going back to the track, nice and smooth run, which is actually quite good. I'm quite impressed because most of the track, at least the track in the station, has been out all winter. I haven't cleaned them, and the engine just runs really nice. Again, it's sort of like 2/3 of the power, and it's not digital. This is Märklin AC. So probably that also explains why it runs without any issues. So this section of the track where the engine is going, it's just got late today. It's not fastened yet. And again, except the curves, the straight bits are not soldered, so just, normal fish plates, nothing else. And it seems to be working fine, well, for the moment at least. Sorry about the mess on the table, but there's a couple of projects going on at the moment. So this is my box that I got for the basically electrical connections for layout. And the reason I bought this big one, because I was planning to put all my transformers, the controller, and this extra box which is required for the Märklin digital system. And for the time being, this is my analog controller. And well, first of all, I like this because this has a door, and there's a nice seal around it, so it's weatherproof. And also, the whole thing is designed to be weatherproof. So the idea is that I'm going to cut a hole here. So that's where I will have all the cables going in, which is basically the main power which is coming from the house. And I'm going to cut a couple of holes here as well. So it's going to go over the ducts which go up onto the layout. And I also got these nice sockets which clip onto the rail, and I also got this big on-off switch. So the idea is that I'm going to hook this up to the mains as well, so if someone else comes with another different type of controller or something, another analog system, they can use these plugs and get power straight away. And then anything that I'm going to put in, like this transformer or my controllers, can be all turned off by this main switch. So I can power off the whole system with a single switch. So that's the idea. And while I was doing this, I realized that I just don't have enough room. because basically these also take up quite a lot of room, and this transformer is quite big, it just fits. And then I still have to find this one and also somehow put this one here, or maybe this is the controller I'm going to unplug every time and then, you know, take it into the house once I finish running the trains. But essentially this is too small, so I'm getting another one of these, so the two will go next to each other. So maybe one will house all the transformers, so the high voltage stuff, and the other one would have the controllers and this Märklin box and some of the other accessories, maybe a couple of switches for the lights and some of the auxiliaries. Oh, and also besides this, I do have somewhere like a 12 volt switching power supply, which I'm planning to use for all the accessories, so the lights, well, mainly the lights, that's what I have in mind at the moment. So let's see how it goes. A couple of minutes later, I managed to fit my analog transformer into the box. So this is something temporary because, well, eventually I want to run digital, but I think for the time being, until the wiring is complete, I should be happy with, you know, running analog trains. So what I've done is I cut a bigger hole in here, basically this square. The transformer just fits through, and now it is, well, it's not secured, but the lid is on, so it basically holds the transformer nicely, it doesn't move around. And on the inside, well, actually, so that's the cut. So on the inside, I just found just piece of wood, some scrap, which just happens to be the right size and the right shape. And so this is how it's going to hold the transformer for the time being. But still, I have to find out if I can get the cable from the bottom and also from behind, just making sure that it doesn't, you know, it's still going to fit, because otherwise this is now, you know, still getting a little bit tight. But I think I'm going to place the box so the wires on the back will come in sort of somewhere here. So I can keep this side of the box for the transformer and then do the wiring here and some of the mains connection. And I do have, well, somewhere, a plug. So this will go into the, I will have a plug here, so I'm going to plug it in, and probably again for the time being, I'm just going to use the circuit breaker in the house just to turn off the electricity for the whole layout and turn it back on when I want to run the trains. So I think it is ready now. This is the mains comes into this plug, and the transformer plugs in. And so far I just have two cables running through the duct coming up there on the top to be soldered onto the rails. And I haven't tested fitting the cover on, but hopefully it's going to go in just smooth. And well, that should be it. Again, temporarily, because I'm planning to have another box on the left, because this is just not enough for all the different transformers and the other different boxes, and wires are going up and down and back and forth. And it does fit. I have enough room for the controls, and for overnight I can close the lid, and it's nice and waterproof. Stage 1 done. And this is all working now. Hooked up to the mains. Those are the new leads, soldered temporarily. But it is running. Completed the track work today. Well, actually completed fixing the track. This is the last section I was working on just today morning. You can still see the dust from the drill. Very nice, I should say. There are a couple of issues with level. Again, I was paying attention to place the screws where there is no bump in the concrete, but I think in a few places I wasn't so lucky. For example, this one. Oh, sorry. This one you can see probably there's like a small bump, and there is a joint here, and it's in a small ditch, so probably I need to put something under the track. But again, it's like maybe 1 mil is definitely not going to derail or decouple the train, but it's just not that nice. And again, I obviously have a gap here, but that's because the wood is slightly thicker than it needs to be. Maybe I just need to get rid of this and then file maybe a mil or two off here, and this is going to be in level. But again, not too fast about it at the moment. I'm still running Maclean analogue AC. It's working fine. I mean, obviously this section of the layout is completely new, so it's brand new track out of the box. But still, there is only one point where the transformer is connected to the track. But again, causing no issues for this engine. And this is the bumpiest section of the track. You can see it goes sort of up and down. And now, let's take a ride. Oops, wrong direction. Nice. And again, thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.